boys and men.
This is a presentation of Northeast Streaming Sports.
Yeah, yo, it's game time, ain't no messing around. Huddle Sports Network, the best in town. From NFL rumors to the latest trends, we got all your sports, just tune in, my friends. Catch us on Roku, Fire Stick, take your pick. Facebook, YouTube, where the action's slick. Daily shows that drop like a bomb. From 10 to 11, it's Ken and Ken, stay calm. Huddle up, catch the vibe, feel the rush. Get your news, get your fills in the clutch. Over 27 podcasts, we breaking it down. Join the team, Huddle Sports, wear the crown. Live every weekday, it's how we roll. Lions Talk with Jeremy B, we taking a stroll. From 11 to 12, don't miss a beat. We break down the game, make the info sweet. The Daily Huddle Podcast, noon to 1. CST Zone, we're just having fun. Toss your doubts, we bring the facts. Tune into the...
Good morning. Welcome to the debate show. It is Saturday with August the 9th, right? Yep, August the 9th, 2025. I am Brian B.S. Arndt, and you have right next to me James JTrain Martin. I hope you all are having a very good morning. We are going to get into these debates. It's going to be mostly about football today, obviously, because football season is starting. The training camps are heating up. And we have preseason games all this weekend, and we've already had a few games Thursday and Friday. So one of the questions that we'll be debating is, Shedeur Sanders set up to fail? Considering he's been named starter in a preseason game, one for the Browns, which he did good, by the way, and with limited reps and with the ones in training camp. I would say, based on what we saw in the preseason game yesterday, he did a fantastic job. He did a pretty good job. I wouldn't say fantastic job. The thing that I want to bring up to you, James, before you get to the question itself, did you see the presser with the head coach after the game?
I'll be honest with you, I did not. And first of all, good morning to you and good morning to you family out there. Yeah, man. No, I didn't get a chance to see the presser. So please enlighten me, my man.
Okay, so he gets up there. He basically was talking about, he didn't really directly, it was questions about Shedeur, obviously. They were bombarding with those questions. And one of the questions was, do you think that this is going to there's going to be a problem with the quarterback room, blah, blah, blah. And he kind of like disingenuized the questions that were coming toward him about Shedeur. Because that's not his guy. Gabriel is. He put it in a way, it was kind of like, he's like, we got to get better. We got to do better things. That's typical for a coach to say, but I'm thinking, if you were getting directly answered or questions about a player on your team that actually did pretty good through it, you would kind of give him his accolades, kind of give him his flowers for the preseason game, for a guy that just started playing in the NFL. But he was kind of like off-putting a lot of the questions. It was more like the team needs to do this, the team needs to do that, not individuals, but the team. The team needs to do this. They need to get better. They need to get better. He said, yeah, it's fine. We're just trying to see where our rookies are, how they're playing. We're just checking them out. That's what the preseason game is all about. He really never gave anybody any credit for anything. He didn't disrespect anybody either. But at the same time, he was like on a level playing field. He was like, yeah, we were all right. We got to do better in certain areas. And he should have done this. When they would ask about a couple of plays, about Shadur. He said, well, he should have done this, and he'll have to get better at that. One of the tight ends, the tight end that the one that caught the one-handed grab from Shadur. He said,
Yeah,
yeah, I gotta. He's got to get better at doing this and doing that. I mean, he wasn't really. It's a weird press conference. The look in his face and the way, the questions how he was answering them was like, whatever, And I didn't kind of like that. At least say Shador did something good. I know you don't like him. He wasn't your guy that you chose in the draft, but he's on your team. You got to coach him up. If anything, you should say you're a good coach. Stefanski. That's the name I was trying to come to my head. Coach Stefanski.
yeah.
So yeah,
What I
I
want to
mean,
say. Okay.
yes, yeah. Go ahead, James.
What I want to say to that is that I want to unpack a little bit here. Sounds like he's taking a page out of the what's the big tuna's name? Bill Parcells, out of his book. Uh, Bill Parcells never really gave credit to any rookie. If anything, good morning, Rich. I would say that if I had to look at it, and I need to really to get full context of this, I need to go watch the interview or post conference. But with that said, I mean, from what you're telling me, it sounds like he's taking a page out of Bill Parcells' book, where he's just like, okay, I'm going to keep it mum. I'm going to keep these rookies humble. I want them to play. I want them to get better. I know what you're saying is right, but I'm not going to put that out at the press conference. Uh, and two, they don't want to reveal anything. They don't want to reveal their hand. They don't want to show what they're going to be doing, and potentially Shador could be, for all we know, could be gearing up to be the starter. Game one. I mean, we don't even know. It's a situation where he don't want to show his hand to anybody to allow other teams to say, okay, we're game planning for this kid right here. So this is the guy that's going to be. You don't know. But with that said, I agree with you. It didn't hurt to just give one compliment to, to somebody that showed that they probably belong in the NFL. Not only belong, but maybe should have been drafted one or no later than the second round. Yeah, that's just it's weird, like you said. It's very weird, and you don't know how to unpack. But as the world continues, the saga continues in another 2 or 3 games. So we'll see how this goes in a few more games. But yeah, other than that, I'll have to watch the video of him and see how that goes.
As far as Shadur Sanders is set up to fail, I kind of have to disagree on the setup to fail thing because Cleveland is, even though they're a disenfranchised franchise, I want to call them, they have their issues. But at the same time, they're not totally stupid either. I think what they did in this game, the first preseason game, was if Shadur goes out there and falls on his face, it's not going to make the franchise look bad for picking him at fifth. A. B. If he goes out there and succeeds, then it's still in the favor of Cleveland. Whatever happens to Shador out there, it's going to be favorable to Cleveland because that way they can get him. Because I'm going to tell you right now, I just don't think he's going to be the starting quarterback of Cleveland because Cleveland just doesn't really want him in the first place. They kind of got him just to be getting him, and that's how I see the front office. I think the owner sidestepped his comments earlier when he said, "Yeah, we should get Shadur," and people were trying to make it see. Well, he probably was in the draft room saying, "Wow, this is the fifth round. He's still available," and that's what made them pull the trigger, and get him. I think the owner wanted him, and the GM and the coach did not. They had their guy Gabriel, blah blah blah. So I mean, I don't think Shador basically is on his own, and he's coming out the gate great. So I believe that one day he will start for a team because he is pretty good. He has good poise. So I just think I don't know. Cleveland is not. they're doing what they're supposed to do as a franchise right now. I don't see them, either way. They're not setting him up to fail. And I don't think they're setting themselves up to fail either. I think everybody's on a level playing. I mean, Shadur's going to do what he's going to do, right? So
Okay. Well, look, I have to disagree. While I agree with you that Cleveland is not setting him up to fail, I think from the whole process in the beginning, he was set up to fail. He was set up to fail from the NFL by not drafting him where he was projected. He was projected in the first to second round, and he fell all the way to the fifth. Mind you, people say that hey, he wasn't a good interviewer. He has like attitude problems. I think a lot of that was disingenuous, to be honest with you, but I can't prove any of that. I mean, I just think the evidence of the kid being a kid, 21 years old in college, has shown that he's a great leader there, a leader of men. Mind you, a team that wasn't all that great, but still was able to play like you saw last night in Cleveland. I mean, or not in Cleveland, but in where did they play? Sorry, in Carolina. I just think that honestly, I really think that the owner's being disingenuous as well. The owner wanted him. Obviously, he didn't want him because he thought he was a good player. He thought that the owner probably rich for a reason. He understands and how things work, how the media works, and he understands that this is going to bring a lot more attention to Cleveland in the beginning, and it's going to sell jerseys, it's going to sell merchandise, it's going to do a lot of things. I think that's what he wanted Shedeur Sanders for. And now to sidestep, is also disingenuous because now they started to notice that this kid can actually play. He can actually play. He wasn't getting the reps, but his either training camp and mini camps and OTAs, he's shown that he's been the best quarterback by numbers. Not saying that he hasn't been playing against the ones, but even the last time when his second team offense played against the first team defense, he was carving these dudes up. He was carving them up. And so that also, a lot of fans got wind of that. They were able to see, and media got wind of this, and they're saying, okay, this guy's a little bit better than some people thought. And now you see last night's game, he didn't have any chances to play with the ones, but he got thrown in the mix. And they had nobody else, so they had to put him in the mix. And then of course they got Huntley to back him up. But with that said, he played like he always played. It was impressive for a rookie to come out there and do that. Mind you, he made a couple of mistakes here and there, but he made way more impressive. Those two touchdowns in the end zone.
Yeah,
well, pinpoint accurate.
He threaded the needle on both of them.
Yes, that first one that he threw, I'll be honest with you, people are going to say that's too much, but it reminded me of the throw to Santonio Holmes from Ben Roethlisberger in the Super Bowl against the Arizona Cardinals that he threw right in the back of the end zone. That people were trying to get the ball, but they couldn't. But it was just high enough to go over the defender and to fall right in the receiver's hands to thread the needle. So to have that's a gift. He's already there. It's not going to go away. That's not going to go away. And to me, Kareem rises to the top. But again, from the beginning, he was set up to fail. And I think that he's going to improve and succeed in spite of this whole situation that's happened in the beginning. I agree with you that he's probably more than likely will go to another team. But I think, yes, he's been set up to fail, but it's been from the beginning. And he just happened to be with Cleveland, and things are working out, unfortunately. I mean, is it unfortunate for Cleveland? I think it's unfortunate for the league because a lot of people are going to wake up with egg in their face, after a few more games and like, okay, you probably should have drafted this guy. Teams that actually needed a quarterback, even if you needed him as a backup, this is going to look silly for not taking him a little higher because he could be a backup somewhere right now, I think, for a really good team. I just think that the league messed up in the beginning, but we know what the situation was. I think is more or less Deion Sanders and proving points to some of these kids coming in with that are making money. I think he's been made an example. He's on the America's Most Wanted list. He's at the top for making an example of what you shouldn't do when you come in the league. This is the way we do things here.
Well, I think just to be kind of a devil's advocate for a minute. Granted, it was a good showing, but it was his first preseason game. It is a preseason game. Let us not forget that it's a preseason game. And Carolina's defense ain't exactly the spectators, before hey, you're great. And Carolina's defense, there's a reason why they put the ones out there first, because they needed those reps. Carolina's defense is not great. I hope their offense does a lot better, because their defense is not going to stop anybody. I think, the other person that wasn't on there that was a first string guy was Joe Horn. I mean, what's his face? JC Horn.
JC Horn.
The corner.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I don't think he's a great corner anyway. I think he's a decent corner. Top 10, I don't know about, but he's a decent corner. I just don't see their defense. Let us get a couple of more games under about, because they did say that they were going to play him in the next game as much as possible. I don't think Joe Flacco is going to see the field. I don't know how Cleveland does how they do their starters, if they do play them a little bit at the last preseason game for like maybe a drive or something like that, just to get Joe Flacco out there and passing. But he's not taking his spot. He's still fourth in the depth chart, even after that performance, because I went on there this morning to see if they had moved anybody around. They had moved a couple of people from where they were at before up, and one guy was moved down, but there Shedeur was still in fourth. So, I mean, I don't think they have a plan. I'm making him I think they still were going ahead with Gabriel. Pickett probably is the odd man out. Huntley, of course, he probably won't make the team, because he's just the guy in camp right now, just for the injuries that's going on. And I think Shedeur, either they're going to really the thing that's going to teeter on Cleveland for Shedeur is that if he does well for the rest of the preseason, that helps him out. But does it help him out? I don't think they want to put him on a practice squad, because I guarantee you he'll get snatched up in a minute. I think what they want to do, if he continues to do well in preseason, they're going to package him like a deal and trade him, which would be weird. Trade him to somebody who needs a quarterback. That way they can get picks. I think they're going to try to get like picks for next year. I mean, that's the only way I can see them going, because I don't see them. Cleveland is dumb as far as the franchise with the quarterback situation. I just can't see them. Once their mind is set on something, they're going to stick with it, like Deshaun Watson. Oh, we paid on this game. Crap. You still got him on a roster, though, after all these years. Right. So they don't look like they got egg on their face for paying the guy all this money, but you really do got egg on your face, because he hasn't produced anything. This will be the same case with Shedeur. They'll find some way to get rid of him, but at a pinnacle for their franchise. So we'll see what happens. I hope Shedeur Sanders keeps doing what he's doing, so that his value goes up. And then if there's a quarterback problem somewhere in the NFL, he can go there and be ready to start. I don't know if he's going to start immediately for the new team, but I would say he would be right there in the depth chart. So
what I will say is that I agree with you about going back to Carolina's defense, and mind you, preseason, that a lot of defenses come with some vanilla packages, to play against, it might be a cover 2 or something like that. But with that said, on the other side of the coin, he had no starting players on the offense. He had no starting receivers or tight ends, and Njoku, Jerry Jeudy, nobody out there to throw to. And again, no reps with ones. And so I'd be interested to see if they're going to put him in the game. Some of the ones are going to start playing. So I'd like to see him. And if he's going to get more playing time, that's where I think that's going to change everything. If he's playing like he's playing, and he plays like that with the ones, he's getting more time with the ones in practice this week, and he comes back next week and he plays with the ones, and he does the same thing. You're going to have some problems in Cleveland. You're going to have problems in Cleveland because you can't deny talent when it's there, and you're going to look like buffoons if you let this guy go and put him in the practice squad or go into waivers or trade him. Now you may not look like idiots if you trade him and you get a nice deal for him. But with that said, it's just goofy. Why would with everybody that you have in that room, the quarterbacks you have Joe Flacco. Joe Flacco's a Super Bowl winning champion, and he's had a really good career, but he's 40. He's not your future. The other two guys, one has instantly become a first round draft pick bust, and he's a journeyman now. This is his third team in what 4 years, I think, in the league, and then of course you drafted a rookie who looks like a rookie that's really inexperienced and not doing it well, and he's not a big guy, he's a little guy, and so if you're a little guy, you need to be like Drew Brees. I'm just saying. You need to be lighted up in order to make it a huge difference to being to trying to get the starting job. So with that said, Shador, the ball's in his court. It's up to him to keep playing well to be able to change the narrative. And I think he will change the narrative. But again, I'm interested in seeing how he's playing with the ones. Good morning, Miss Linda.
Hey, good morning, Miss Linda. Yes. All right. So we'll go from Mr. Shador Sanders to here to another quarterback in a situation, Mr. Anthony Richardson and his competitor Daniel Jones here. Who is the starting quarterback for the Indianapolis Colts in 2025? Anthony Richardson or Daniel Jones? If Jones is a starter, does this qualify Richardson as a first round bust? I'm going to tell you right. We're probably going to agree on this debate because when Richardson got hit yesterday or the day before Thursday, and by the way, University of Michigan, David Ojobu hit him. So I just want to throw that in there. Anyway, dude had no pocket awareness, and you're a mobile guy. And you sent the play was the line with the offensive line was to shift left, and your running back and your tight end on the other side were going out for passes. He deadpanned a receiver as soon as he had the ball. He wasn't even looking for the rush. Now if you've got somebody's going to have an opening to come through on that side. That's just a hot route coming through on you. If you are not paying attention and you're a mobile quarterback, if he would have saw him, he could have sidestepped that whole situation. And that tells me right there, dude, you have no awareness. And I've been listening to a lot of sports shows that said, well, he's not able to do that because he's been injured so much, he's not been able to practice. And I'm like, isn't that like 101 of quarterbacking in the first place? I think college, you even have to know how to sidestep blitzes and stuff like that. I mean, you got to step up in the pocket or look for that blitz coming. You got to read a defense. And like you said, it's preseason. So these defenses are vanilla. So they did basic blitz packages and stuff like that. And if you shift the line one way, you have to expect pressure coming from the opposite side. So I'm not understanding the whole situation. I think that when he twisted his pinky, and he didn't play for the rest of the game. These are things that are piling up on Richardson right now. His injuries are just like, yeah. I mean, if Daniel Jones comes, and Daniel Jones didn't play bad, he didn't play great. He didn't play like Shador did, but he played good enough to get to get them down there. And I mean, it didn't win again like preseason games, so I don't care who wins or loses anyway. But he moved the ball effectively up and down the field. And if Daniel Jones becomes the starting quarterback, yeah, I would have to put Anthony Richardson like first round bust. It's happened before. Jamarcus Russell. Let's say.
Oh yeah, you're right, and I'm not going to put him in the same breath as that guy.
Well,
But
no.
I will say I agree with you in regards to the pinky, in regards to the awareness to be able to sidestep. And these are things that you're supposed to know already, and it alarms me that he's in his third year. I've going in his third season, and he's not really uh, looking for reads. Because if you're a quarterback, if you're going through your progressions, he stares down the receiver, and so that's probably, and I think that's what got him in this instance, not to be able to, or not to be able to audible or recognize that this guy's possibly coming in, and to audible or to say, okay, I know what's coming, so I got to look. Keep mind you, I got to watch this guy because he came free. He came totally free. And next thing you know, we got the pinky in a different direction, 90 degrees. And so, and this, unfortunately, this is a situation where could he be categorized as a bust? I would say as a bust injury. But if Daniel Jones gets this job, that's the question. If he gets this job, is he considered a bust? I don't think so. Close. I think it'll be close, but I don't think so because I think they picked him for at number 4, even though he only had one season as a starter at Florida, and he had a great combine, and that's what got him picked 4th overall. And he showed some flashes last year. I was watching some of the highlights. This guy's got an arm that's like a cannon, and he can run. He's quick. He's got great athleticism. But is he a quarterback? Is he a quarterback that's built to succeed? I just think the potential and the traits are there. And some team, even if he doesn't stay with Indianapolis, he goes to some other team. Somebody's going to want him. They're going to want him, and they're going to want to see if they can cultivate his gifts because he has gifts. He has some gifts. He just needs to work on the other things. And I think we're going into the third season. But the problem is he can't stay on the field long enough to even cultivate this stuff because he gets injured all the time, including the pinky. We're going to keep bringing up the pinky. With that said, I don't think he's a bust yet. I don't think, even if Daniel Jones takes the job, I don't think he's a bust yet, but he's close. But I'm gonna go the opposite way of what you're saying, and I'm gonna say he's not a bust just yet, just because of the potential and the talent that's there.
Yeah, I mean, his best event. I mean, for anybody's for anybody that plays football, your best ability is availability, and he hasn't had any of that his whole career. Even in college, he's been hurt. And I don't understand why teams they look at his athletic gifts. Cool, that's great when he's on the field, but how much is he on the field compared to when he's not on the field? And a lot of these teams just do stuff with based on a whim. You picked a guy number 4. I don't think he was worth a number 4 pick. I'm sorry. He shouldn't have even been picked in the first round, to tell you the truth.
We can agree with that.
But I think if he goes to another team, he's going to be a career backup with talent because he's not going to be able to stay on the field long enough as a starter to make anything happen. And I gotta agree with you about first round buzz. I've seen some bad players in first round that just completely folded in the NFL, and he's not close to that. But he's on that line, and that guy's got to get himself together. He's got to train better. I don't know what he's got to do to get his body in a different shape, whatever, so he doesn't get hurt. He's got to be more aware. He's got to go out there and put in the work. And I think that's a lot of things with these football players that are coming out now. They have the talent, so they don't feel they have to put in the work because they have the talent. And that's what's screwing a lot of these players up that's coming to the NFL. Because once they get in the NFL, and they're told constantly, money doesn't change the fact that NFL is on a whole different level than college. And you go out there, there's people out there, you're playing against first or second round, guys from these teams that are from college, and they got picked up in the NFL. So you're playing against guys that are, first, second, third round picks that are starters, and they're going to dust you because if you're, that's just the nature of the game. And if you're not being successful in leveling up to that, you're going to get hurt, or you're not going to be able to, Anthony, that whole situation with his pinky could have been avoided if he just had awareness, and he should have that. You got the wheels, dude. I don't understand why you're staring at receivers down the field. And you think, I mean, are you trying too hard? Maybe that's what it is. He's trying too hard because he knows his job is on the line. I don't know. And for Indianapolis to keep having faith in him, they're turning into another Cleveland, I think. But their quarterback situation hasn't been good since Andrew Luck. So I don't know what's going on with them. But I mean, like with every player, man, I hope that he turns it around. Hopefully, and if he doesn't become a starter on the Indianapolis Colts, at least be a backup, a good backup, or go on another team and be a good. Because I don't see him as a starter right now. I don't think I would have enough faith as a owner, as a GM, or as a coach to have you start until I can see you improve and go through a season without a pinky injury.
I mean, of course, this is a guy you definitely, if let's just say, let's put it out there that if he doesn't make the team or if he doesn't get the starting job, he's going to be the backup. That there.
Mm-hmm.
And if he demands he wants to be traded or go somewhere else, some team's going to want him, but they're still probably going to sit him. I mean, he's going to be a backup to somebody unless there's just nobody on the team that's just at all any good, or in their situation where somebody had an injury and they need a starter. He'll get a job immediately just because of what he's done and the potential that's there. Yeah, what he's capable. But I agree with you to the sense that he better get it together because at some point, I don't think he's a bust yet. I don't think he's going to be a bust, even if he doesn't get this job. But it's teetering that direction. So he's got to work on a lot of the intangibles that he's not showing his weaknesses, and he needs to improve them. That's just obvious. That's the fact. And because, I mean, he had a 49.7 completion percentage last year, 1,800 yards. So, I mean, it's pretty bad. And he was 6 touchdowns to 12 interceptions. Yeah. Something unreal. And it was just pretty bad. And so, and it's not like he had a bad receiving core. I mean, you got Michael Pittman, Alec Pierce, Downs, Adonai Mitchell. That's, man, a lot of quarterbacks will give their left arm for that group. That's a decent group.
You got Jonathan Taylor as a running back.
Yeah. So come on, man.
And you had to put a decent offensive line until this year, but because everybody left to go to Minnesota.
So RPO, he's the type of player that should succeed in RPO. He should be. I mean, to me, his size and his arm, he's got a better arm than the person I'm about to mention, Cam Newton. I mean, he could throw the ball, launch it, but having the direction and having the awareness is a whole different thing. To me, he should be the next Cam Newton. That's where his comp should be because he's got the size. He's about 244. He's 6'4", and he's fast. He's even faster than Cam Newton. His 40 was, I think, like a 4.3, something like that. Oh, sub 4.4.
Yeah,
crazy.
He's fast, dude. I would say this comes into a conversation that we had before too about quarterbacks and fitting into a system on a team. And teams are also so enamored with quarterbacks of ability, and he did this and he did this in college. But dude, does it fit your system that you're working? Are you building around him, or is he going to be fitting into your system? That's the thing that these teams do. They fail all the time at. I've seen it with a lot of teams. The quarterback does not fit. Patrick Mahomes would not, people, Chicago missed on Patrick Mahomes. And, Chicago wouldn't have done nothing with Patrick Mahomes either because Patrick Mahomes, they ruined quarterbacks in Chicago. He would not fit any system that they have. First of all, Andy Reid was the blessing that Patrick Mahomes had. He already had God-given ability. He put him on Kansas City with a coach that built the offense around him and was building the offense around him because he was there for a couple of minutes before he started on that team. So those are things. It's whatever team. It's like Jared Goff with the Lions. We know what his capabilities are. That's why you build around him because you understand what his capabilities are. You're not having him doing RPOs, right? So I mean, you've got to play within your system, and I think that's probably some of the problem with Indianapolis too. You know, you got him. You were like, oh God, this guy's great. He's fast. He's a big guy. He can throw pretty well. But you're not thinking about your system, or you're projecting a future for this guy that you really can't fulfill. Either you're going to build around him or stick him into a system that he's capable of running. And I think this is the problem in Indianapolis. I think Daniel Jones does it better than him right now as far as running that in that system.
When
So
you say if Daniel Jones gets the job, you say he's a bust. I say he's not. I'm saying he's not a bust, but the pinky pointing in the wrong direction is probably pointing his bust status in the wrong direction. So we'll see. We'll move on to the next question.
all right, this is one of my favorite questions here. Will Travis Hunter play full-time cornerback and wide receiver? If so, does he have a good chance to win Defensive Rookie of the Year or Offensive Rookie of the Year or Offensive Player of the Year or Defensive Player of the Year? Whatever. I disagree. I'm with Devontae Adams, and if you can't play a whole season, man. It's just not. This is the NFL again. I hate to hammer this whole thing in. I'm sure the guy is a gifted athlete, but the NFL is hard work. Playing in one position, much less trying to play two. There are hard players that do that, but not on a consistent rotation. Like they go to the cornerback and then come back to the receiver, cornerback or with the receiver. I think there's maybe only two players that probably could have pulled that off, and one is Dion, and the other one was Bo. If Bo Jackson. Those are probably the only two players I could feel that they had the athleticism to stay with that flow, and they didn't even do that. Well, Bo got his career cut short, but Dion, he played a little bit of wide receiver for a minute, and then he just, he went back to playing cornerback because that's his specialty, and he had a Hall of Fame career doing it. It's not saying that Travis Hunter won't be a bad cornerback or wide receiver. Um, he's the number one wide receiver on Jacksonville right now, only because they have well, not number one, but he's paired with um, Brian Thomas, and that's because they have no wide receivers in the first place. They just got those two. And so, yeah, I would say, and then somebody says, well, he should be playing wide receiver because he gets paid more money that way. I mean, yeah, that's true too. But do you think that he's a better? The first question before you get to your meat here is he a better corner or a better receiver? Do you think?
I think he's a better corner. There's too many nuances in being a wide receiver. Obviously, I think he has a natural gift to play a corner. He understands good. He has good instincts, and that's why he's. When you saw him in college, he was a really good ball hawk. He has athleticism to play wide receiver right now, and I think wide receiver, you have more nuances when I say that, meaning route trees. I've seen him run routes, certain things that, to be perfected at running routes. I think he's not quite there yet. So I would think that he's better at being a cornerback. Again, the instincts and being able to track the ball as a cornerback, which is a more difficult thing to do because you're trying to get in the head, not only of the receiver, but really the head of the quarterback and understand where he's going and understanding the system, understanding the offense. So it does usually come with watching game film and being athletic, being gifted, and knowing your skill as a cornerback, knowing how to run, move your hips, different things like that, understanding the game. So when I've watched him, so I can let you go back to what you were saying, but I think he's a better corner, just from what the optics, what I've seen.
Well, yeah, I think cornerback is probably the second hardest position to play in football because of all the things that have to go along with that. You have to know your quarterback that you're going against. You got to know the receiver that you're going against. You got to know all their route trees because you can't be fooled on anything. If you lose track of your corner, that's a touchdown, buddy, unless the safety comes over there and helps you out. But at the same time, I mean, he looked pretty good as wide receiver in training camp. So I mean, I can't say he can't be a good receiver either, but playing both sides, I don't really see him being winning the defensive rookie of the year or the offensive rookie of the year. To tell you the truth, I don't think even when if they make him a corner, okay, if they decide, hey, we need you as a corner, and I'm going to tell you right now, it doesn't look good in that situation either because he's like what? He's a backup corner. He's in the depth chart. He's backup corner. I think he's like corner 3 or something like that, corner 2, 3 or something like that. But he's a number one wide receiver, and I think that's what they're going to make him be. It was number one because they don't have anybody as a wide receiver, but Thomas. That's it. And so being offensive rookie of the year and being with Brian Thomas at the same time, I think that's going to take away balls from him because we all know Thomas is a beast. So I just don't see him getting enough catches or producing enough for them to have him be offensive rookie of the year. And if they don't play him at corner as much, I don't see him being defensive rookie of the year either. So I already put a prediction out there that he wasn't going to get an interception this year, which is nothing for rookie corners. That's nothing because we had Terry and Arnold for a whole year. He can get an interception. So and he's a full-time corner. You know what I'm saying?
And elite.
Yeah. So I mean, I don't know. This whole thing about paying, I just can't see it. I'm not in this NFL. Nope.
I'm going to have to disagree with you, B. I love your take. I thought it was good. But I have so many things I want to unpack here regarding that. I think there's a first time for everything. There's a first time for a man to land on the moon. There's a first time the Wright brothers took flight. There's the first time we built a Model T in the car. What did Richard say? I agree, Richard. He is flight built, and he's coming into a different game. But the game has also been catered to allowing these guys to be. It's almost, I'm not going to say flag football, but as you alluded to last night, B, you mentioned that the guy got hit and he got flagged for hitting the guy, a defensive player. Yeah, a good clean hit. The game is not what it used to be. So there's a possibility, Richard, that a very athletic, I think to me, a really good corner in Travis Hunter can get maybe 2-3 interceptions. Because let's just look at all the rookies that came out. I don't see anybody that can match up well against them as far as like in defensive rookie of the year, except maybe Jalen Walker potentially as the edge rusher. Yeah, I mean for Jordan now in Atlanta, that could probably get rack up about 10 sacks possibly. He could get that, but I like the potential of Travis Hunter being able to maybe get, let's just say 3 interceptions, maybe PBUs, and about 40 tackles. That'd be good enough to get a defensive rookie of the year, especially if it helps Jacksonville have a much better season than what they had last year. And if everybody's healthy, what we're expecting out of Trevor Lawrence to be better, he's getting help. And also what you mentioned on the offensive side, Brian Thomas Jr. was a dog last season. Now everybody knows who he is. So they're going to start putting their best on him. Not only just their best, they're going to start double teaming him. So somebody else has to catch the ball. And I think that Travis Hunter may be the guy to get that. But it's a potential, like I said, a first time for everything that this guy may play both sides of the ball, maybe 55-45%, maybe 60-40. But I mean, to me, that's 60-40 is still pretty full time. That's still a lot to me in the NFL. If you're playing 40% on offense, that's still a lot. That's still a lot of snaps. And so if he gets maybe like 600, 700 yards, maybe 5 TDs, there's a potential that he could be offensive player of the year as well, especially if he's taking some of his time away by playing defense. And that might be something that the voters consider is that like he deserves both because he showed out on both sides. He just didn't play full time. Like 50-50. But I think there's a potential that he could be the first to do that. Now, mind you, will that give him a long career? Probably not, because he's going to beat his body up. He played full time both sides in college. He does it in the NFL. He probably can do it, but I probably expect his career to be 7 to 8 years tops, and maybe get elite play out of that, maybe 5 years before he not putting this on him, but he may get injured. But if that's what he wants to do, I'm not going to say he can't do it. I'm going to say that I'm going to lean the other way and say that he could possibly get defensive rookie of the year and offensive rookie of the year by playing both, because I think he is pretty elite. And then again, I have to put up the competition against him. I just don't see a lot of great players that came out. We're talking quarterbacks for 2025. I don't see the greatness there to take offensive rookie of the year. Not like a Jaden Daniels or Bo Nix that were up against each other. Those guys had superior elite play. And I don't see it with the quarterbacks happening this year. And then, of course, running back, maybe Ashton Genty. But like you said, we got to see how that goes with -3 yards. Maybe he does. He gets the bulk of the carries and he comes out and it becomes – I think he's going to be elite. I think that was just a fluke, and it was preseason. But there's a possibility, and I think he could get – I think there's a good chance that he could get it.
A possibility. I mean, it's a possibility a star will blow up in there. I'm just saying, it's a possibility. Yes, everything's a possibility. However,
a good chance. I think it's a good chance, like the question says. It's a good chance that he'll get both.
The fact that he's third on the cornerback chart will probably come in on dime plays. Actually, will reduce his defensive rookie status, because I'm telling you right now that's like 10% of the time that you're playing on defense if you're playing dime. Probably not even that much, to tell you the truth. That's giving them too much right there. But yeah, I really think that what Jacksonville wants to do is make him a receiver. And if he's going to go along with that, now I would give you this. If he plays receiver most of the time, I mean, 90% of the time, he could win offensive rookie of the year. He could. Because that's something that they have him at a position for just about every game, and he will, because he's going to be the 2 to Thomas's 1. I know one thing: if that does happen, and those two are successful, look at something about the NFL. The NFL tries to adjust to certain things. Now, you're right; Thomas will get more coverage because he is, they know what he's about now. Whereas Hunter coming in, and everybody knows that he is a two-way player, and they think, he got drafted
number 3.
3, yeah. He got drafted 3rd. That puts some focal emphasis on you too. So whoever is the 3rd receiver on Jacksonville or the tight end, they're going to have a big year, because they cover both of them with over the top safeties and the lockdown corner. They play nickel on them. You got 2 corners on one guy and safety in a corner on another guy, and then whoever's the 3rd receiver or tight end is going to be running all the way through that pattern free. So I mean, it could help Jacksonville. You're right, it could help with Jacksonville. Because it'll help their offense, and hopefully Joey Sunshine plays well this year, because he's been pretty terrible for the last couple of years. But yeah, I mean, I think he has more of a chance to win offensive rookie of the year than he has defensive rookie of the year. I think I'll go with that. Yeah, I'll go with that.
Okay. Well, I'll go with both. You go with one, and so we'll move on. And the time will tell with the season. We'll see how that goes.
Oh, yeah. All right. Going to some NBA. Why not? After receiving a multi-year extension, does Joe Mazzulla return to the NBA Finals in 2026? I'll let you get this one started.
Okay. So, Joe Mazzulla, Ime Udoka made this team great. They had excellent defense. They didn't win the championship under Ime Udoka. I think. Let me see. Was
After a second, hmm. I thought it
was he
was.
second overall?
Yeah, that's what
Oh,
he
he
said.
was second. You're right. He was second. Jacksonville took second. Ime
Yeah, yeah.
Udoka. Yeah, he built a good team, but they didn't win anything. I mean, they were great. They were close, but they didn't win. And then, of course, he had his unceremonious exit out of there for what he did. I'm not going to repeat that. Anyway, Joe Mazzulla got the same team to the championship, and they won the championship. Uh, but the bad news is they don't have the same team. They don't have the same team at all. They don't have Porzingis. He's gone. And you're looking at Al Horford. He's likely, all intents and purposes, gone. It hadn't happened just yet, but they're looking at this, leaning towards it. They're not going to bring him back. He's 39 years old as well. How much left does he have in the tank? Even though he showed he could play last season. And of course, Jason Tatum. Jason Tatum is out for the foreseeable future, and almost with an Achilles. He had it in May of this year. He may be out until May of next year, and so
Hmm.
he's not going to play full. And they don't. They still got Derek White. They still got Drew Holiday. They still got a few other key players there, but they didn't really make any really good moves to offset those situations. And they're going to have to play through Jaylen Brown, which I think, to me, he's going to light it up. I think he's going to start playing. He's going to be. It's going to be like hero ball now because there's no one else to really like. I don't see a lot of wing players, skill players out there that's on the team. And you lost some height. You're losing height, and you don't have your main playmaker on the field, on the court. So the shooting guard is going to have to be the man. And I don't know if they can do anything, and maybe they can get enough to be able to. Holiday's gone as well.
Hmm.
I didn't see that. Drew's gone.
Hmm.
Okay, well then I see why Jack didn't like this question. Because yes, I don't think they're gonna. I don't think they're gonna do much. I just think that maybe they skim and get to the playoffs, but definitely not a championship. And it would have to be more so when Jason Tatum gets back and what they added in the off season. But yeah, um, audience, I gotta apologize that I even had this question and I didn't know that Holiday was going. Well, for sure, I didn't really see
He
that.
got traded to Portland.
Oh yeah. Oh man. Totally.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was one of the first. That was one of the first trades this offseason too.
I totally forgot about that.
From Boston.
Yeah,
What?
well, that's really that they lost defense there too, and I just think that it's not going to be any good this 20 upcoming season, right? In 20 for 26, it's going to be tough, and so they're going to be really dependent on Jalen Brown, and so yeah, I don't think they'll do much this upcoming season.
Well, I mean, it's Boston. It's the Celtics. Tradition itself just takes them to that point. Um, I I don't know a lot about Joe Mazzulla as a coach, but if he's gotten the Boston Celtics to that realm the last 3 years, then I would say that he's the guy for the job. And no matter who he's coaching for Boston, I think they'll still be in the running for the NBA Finals in 2026. I think he has a good chance. I mean, Boston's not. Yes, they got rid of some players, but at the same time, they're developing other players in those positions. I think that they will do. They'll be up there. I think they can be in the contention for the NBA Finals. It's Boston. They still have Jalen Brown. I mean, there's not a lot of teams that have a full book of people on their teams in the Eastern Conference, and the Eastern Conference is wide open. Anybody can win the Eastern Conference this year. The Pistons, the Orlando Magic, the Indiana Pacers, even the Knicks. I mean, you've got a plethora of teams that are thrown in their hat. So I'm not counting Boston out of winning or getting into the NBA Finals because they were in it last year. If it wasn't for the Tatum thing, it kind of demoralized them when Tatum went down against the Knicks. So I know I can understand that in a sense, but they'll recover. It's going to be a interesting summer, and we'll see what happens in the beginning of the NBA season. I think Boston will still be there at the end. I don't consider them not a threat anymore. You might
Look,
think lost a couple players.
I don't think so, man. I really think they take too many losses, and I think New York, even though I'm not a fan of the move with the coaches, New York still has a powerful team. I agree with you about Orlando. I agree with you about Detroit. I don't agree with you about Indianapolis. I think that the loss of Halliburton, and he likely won't be back next season. And I think losing their big guy, the center Turner, Miles Turner, was kind of tough too as well. Um, I'm not, and he went to the East. Well, I'm sorry, it was the West, Milwaukee. That's the West, right?
Mm-hmm. You
Yeah,
mean
yeah. Oh, it's
Holiday?
East. Milwaukee's East, right?
What player are you talking about?
No, Miles Turner. He's in Milwaukee now.
Oh yeah. Miles Turner. Okay,
Yeah,
that's what I was asking.
yeah, yeah.
What player are you talking about? Yeah.
Yeah, he's gone, so I don't agree with him. But I like and Cleveland as well. So Cleveland has a shot as well as
Yeah,
far as getting.
Cleveland. That was the other
They
team.
they got to they got to contend with those guys. I don't think they have a shot for 26. I just think that if there's the odds and the odds against them is just tough because there seems insurmountable because of the injury to their best player and the losses they took. And so Holiday and Al Horford are gone and Porzingis. So you lost two bigs and you lost one of your best defensive guards. So it's pretty tough. I didn't see and you got Derek White. He's still there. And so to me, Derek White, two guys that are highly paid, and one of your guys on the apron, that's another problem. These guys are on their second or third apron, I believe, which makes their luxury tax really expensive. So that's probably why they're letting Al Horford go, and they're trying to clear a lot of money up. And you got one of those guys that's making 300 million that's got to sit a whole year out. And so I think it's going to be real tough on them to do anything in 26. Maybe 27 might be a better time to reset, and they got these players, but who knows if they'll even have all these players. They may have to trade because of those aprons. So we'll see. And Mazzola, like you said, he's got his hands full. He's got his multi-year contract. They believe in him because obviously they wouldn't have paid him. And, they got to the what was it, the Western Conference the second round and lost to the Knicks. But yeah, I just don't think 26 will be great for them.
I mean, they got young. I mean, they went younger. I mean, they got younger players. The team is younger. If I'm getting rid of everybody, getting rid of at least three players. So, I mean, that helps a little bit. I think youth is something that the Celtics need as well. And you get too many old players on a team. It's like, yeah, it's a little bit stale. So I think I still got confidence that they can make it there. I'm not saying they won't at all because they still are. They still have the coach is key to the success of the team as well. It's not just the players. Players are the ones that do the work. True. But Mazzulla has done a pretty good job of getting the Celtics there every time. Yeah, and he's had the advantage of having Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown healthy for all those times, and having players like Drew Holiday and Miles on their team. But you can't always have those. I know one thing is going to really show his coaching ability now because he doesn't have those players. So it'll show what kind of coach he really is. Jaylen Brown being your star right now because Tatum's out. So I mean, I never kind of a team like Boston out of the return to the NBA Finals in 2020. I just can't. I can't
Well, we'll see. Time will tell.
because I don't like Boston.
Speaking of time,
yeah, we're there. So this has been good debates. We will talk to you tomorrow because it is going to be the Sunday Sports Show with my co-host here, James JTrain Martin, and the rest of the hosts of the other fellas that are going to be on there. Y'all have a good rest of your day. Peace out.